So simple things like coming up to help somebody who's a member of our community in need, and my ingrained desire to serve the people in the school district. And so if the person asks for my help, even if it costs me, I'm going to help them. And you guys, being affiliated with you has cost me dearly. So give yourselves a round of applause. So the fun part about it is, I brought a student here who has a remarkable story. He's been featured in a couple of radio spots, and he's had some actual coverage, but it's a truly powerful story. And it's even got a little interest from other people in other states. And he's a very special young man. And he's an example, and his story is a product of the things that can be accomplished when a school system is oriented towards serving the people and not asking the people to serve it, like we just heard in the prior speaker. So this is Sam. Give him a really warm welcome. He's not used to speaking.
Hello everyone, my name is Samuel Pearson. I am a senior at Alsea High School, and last year, 365 days away from today, I was working. School had shut down from my school district in Cottage Grove, and we were all sitting at home twiddling our thumbs and being depressed teenagers. I didn't like that, and so I got to work, and I was trying to just not think about the world. I was trying to work myself and then come home and be sad. But it's okay, it was only a few hours. Well, those few hours started to build up in my brain. And I started thinking about horrible, negative thoughts that all parents don't want their kids to think about. I was thinking about self-harm and suicide. It was very dark for me, and I know so many other teenagers in my situation that have felt that way also. Closing schools, closing down friendships, gatekeeping just being a child has hurt so many teenagers. And I was lucky enough to know someone who would stand up for it and do something. And so a great man came over and started talking to me and asked me if I would like to join him in his school at Alsea. And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "Well, it's a town." And I was like, never heard of it. And it's a tiny little town, and I didn't know how to properly spell it or say it. And I was like, interesting, let's look it up on Google. And so I looked it up on Google, and there's like, about 100 people in that town. I was like, this is interesting. A little bit of a change from Cottage Grove. And so after a little debating with my parents, I said, sure, I'll go. And so he was kind enough to drive me from my house 2 hours to Alsea every single day, and then 2 hours back, just so I could go to school. And so when I thought of a superintendent, I thought of this big, person thinking overcharging everything, very grumpy, pretty annoying in most parents' eyes, because, if they answered every single call, they wouldn't be able to get any work done. And so that was my preconceived notion of what a superintendent was. And then I was talking to Marc Thielman, and well, he kind of broke all those stereotypes from my eyes. Not only is he charismatic and, well, kind of interesting to hear, he also cares about children. Yeah, crazy. It's insane. To be able to say that a superintendent actually cares about the children, that's something that I should be able to say and everyone should know. But the fact that it's actually groundbreaking and insane to hear about today shows you how messed up our country really is. How we have to say, oh, we care about education in order to become elected, and then do nothing for the teenagers, do nothing for the children. Well, Mark, he's done things for me. He has done things for so many countless other teenagers. He's opened up a school when the Oregon government said, no, you will not. And he said, yes, I will. And he did. And he spent all summer dedicated helping teenagers like me. And so I showed up to school, and I was obviously not dressed in the proper attire of Alsea. If you know anything about that town, it's a very small town, logging, fishing, and hay farming. And so I've done some of that back in my day, but I don't really look the part. And so I assumed, I'd be kind of bullied, little jabs at my clothes, just different things like that. When I got to Alsea, they were scared a little bit, but accepting. And that was new to me, that the entire school would be accepting of a kid. And so, no talking behind my back, none of that. And it was very interesting to see the differences for what a school that is out for the school board, for their popularity, for their riches and benefits, versus a school that is out for the children, and how that not only benefits them, but also their students, their lives, and how their attitudes affect teenagers. And it has affected me. I have changed from a year. I'm now, pretty happy. I'm talking out in public in front of all of you guys. And all of that, I would say not all of it, but at least 95% of it was because of Marc Thielman. And that has changed my life for the better, and he has changed so many others' teenagers' lives, including my girlfriend. She was very depressed, and her school got shut down also, and she lives in Springfield. Now, we drive through and across Springfield to go up to Alsea. But he said, oh, okay, we'll stop in through Springfield and pick her up every single day. So not only does he drive out of his way to pick up me, he drives through Springfield, picks her up, and then drives up to Alsea. It is insane. It is amazing. He cares, he is dedicated, and that has changed me. And so when he said, well, Samuel, I think you should play football. I was like, well, I have never played football. And he said, well, Samuel, you look the part. And I was like, all right, thank you. So I, started playing football. We had to have our mouthpiece, we had to have a mask, and then we had to have a helmet. Now, that's a lot of things. That's a lot. And so we're practicing, we're doing all of our shuffles, we're doing all of our squats and all this stuff, and then we're having these masks. And so I'm a center, I'm on the line, I'm sitting there right dab, just staring at other people. And when I get up and push someone off, sometimes I would get lightheaded and start being wheezy. Now everyone was saying, oh, that's just because your blood pressure, because when you sit down and stand up so fast, I think I have enough blood in my body that it won't just fall out. I'm pretty sure it has to do with something blocking my voice and blocking my airflow, to the point where when we're paused to have halftime or anything, we would walk over to the center lines, take off the helmet, take off the mask, take out the mouthpiece, drink some water, put back in the mouthpiece, put back on the mask, then finagle the helmet back on, walk out onto the field, and the ref would be like, excuse me, sir, you have to pull up your mask. It's not covering your nose. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. So I have to reach in through my guard, pull it up. It was horrible, but we did win, and Co won. We were tied for state champions. And that is pretty amazing. They didn't want us to play football. They didn't want us to have any sports this year. They didn't want us to go to school. They didn't want us to interact with teenagers, be a child. They didn't want that. And then Marc said, no. He likes saying no to the government. That is a man he can trust. That is a man that he put his trust in me. So when a superintendent would talk to his school board and say, look, I'm going to drive 2 hours, pick up a kid in a completely different district. He has a history of, kind of being a little weird, depressed, doesn't do that well at school. Let's bring him to our school. What do you think a school board would say? They would be like, no thanks. Let's keep him out. Marc trusted me that I would give him, reputation, wouldn't damper his entire grand school. He trusted me that I would just be me, and he trusted me that I wouldn't do anything wrong. In fact, I started driving his daughter. Now tell me, fathers, how much trust would you have to give a random teenager that you've only known for about a year or two, unsupervised, drive for 2 hours your own daughter up to school? That has a lot of trust. And he's trusted me with that. And so in return, I trust him wholeheartedly. I trust him in what he says, his actions, his actual caring for teenagers, his caring for all of you and being here. And so I welcome you, Marc Thielman.
All right, Sam, I'll give you that money I told you I'd pay you to say all that. Just so you know, I didn't know what he was going to say. And so it's emotional. Huh. So again, you don't know, none of us know the impact that our individual daily decisions will make. But here's what I do know, is that if we care about others and we live in service to others, and we make a practice out of putting ourselves second while building ourselves up, amazing things can happen. It's the foundation of this country. It is what makes you guys, the grassroots, strong. When I think about some of the stuff Sam shared, you know, I didn't think he liked football that much, but apparently he did. And Sam was an amazing football player, a kid who never played football during COVID, went out and played football and ended up being co-state champions. What a wonderful experience. It was worth all the pain in getting there. So last thing I want to say is I kept the school open because it was the right thing to do. I'm an individual, and I'm not dumb. I have a degree in biology, history, education, and I know a lot of stuff because I'm old. Okay? I'm 50 years old. Hard to believe, I know. You guys are thinking 29 maybe, tops, right? And I looked at the science and looked at what this government was telling us, and it was horse crap. And I had to face my teachers union, I had to face attorneys, I had to face the OSAA, and right now I'm under investigation in my Superintendent's Professional Association, and when they informed me, I said, again? Screw them. I know that's not political. And here's why I can say that. My email is packed with grandmothers, fathers, mothers, grandfathers, uncles, aunts, and other students like Sam thanking myself, our teachers, our school board for doing what they did to keep school open and to give these kids an education and a chance. So with that, I want to end with, here's the downside. There's always a downside. So I should have ended there because that was great. I know this is getting long, but the issue is I have had probably well over 1,000 people reach out in the last 3 months, and I'm under tremendous pressure to enter the gubernatorial race. So here's the piece. If it's not even an if, I already bought all the websites, and it's going to be Marc for Oregon, and we're going to be launching the website very soon, and I've got $20,000. Ooh. Apparently I need 18 million to win, but hey, 20 is it. We're going to start somewhere. So thanks, you guys. And just so you know, my life completely changed from that testimony, thanks to you. So here's the thing. Why would I put myself out to run for governor when I'm having so much fun and success working with kids? Because this crap has to stop. And the best position to stop it is the governor's office. So why would you vote for a non-politician, small school, know-nothing superintendent? Because I will deliver results, and we will have a government that serves the people and not the other way around. That's my commitment to you. God bless you. Thank you.